The journey is never ending. There is always gonna be growth, improvement, and adversity. You just gotta take it all in and do what's right, continue to grow, continue to live in the moment. So, for starting a new chapter of learning, I am Saloni Mishra, being your host for today's event, and my friend Sahil, being your co host for today's event. I want to extend a warm greeting and good evening to all of you present here. I hope you all are doing amazing. On the behalf of the whole SEMS family, I welcome you all for today's international webinar on the topic Poison on the Plate, and to our guest of honor and today's speaker, Mr. Rahul Sen Gupta. It is a great honor to have you with us, and we are grateful for your presence. Rahul sir has a rich work experience of over 24 plus year across various industry, which includes pharmaceuticals, FMCG, automobiles, banking, financial service, and insurance and retails. He has been an eminent motivational speaker for Institute of Global Professional and NTI World's Global Commerce Public Speaking Institute and ABC International Group. Rahul sir has led over 100 plus workshops, designs, and delivery programs in India, UK, African countries, covering employees and client across levels. Rahul sir is pursuing his MBA from ICAFI Business School. He is a mastery trainer certified from NISI, Government of Indian, and international certificate career coach from a train the trainer certified, and many more. He's a professional member of a LinkedIn Kolkata chapter, Institute of a Global Professional and IAC Society affiliated member like Modified helps individuals. His modality helps individuals work on their mind, body, emotion, and higher self elements. Corporate trained for PNBI, IOCL, United Bank of India, and Mahindra Group, etc. University faculty for University of Calcutta, University of Bhutan, KIIT Bhubaneswar, etc. Institution faculty for Techno India, IMS Kolkata, and BP Poddar, etc. Campus training for KIT, CV, Don Bosco Group, Mahindra, and many more.
Thank you so much, Saloni, for so nice of introduction of mine. Uh, and good evening to all my students and participants out here. Thank you so much for attending and taking out time to come down and have an interaction and learn the things. So I welcome you on behalf of the SEMS group as well as myself. It's an honor to be with you. And every time when I come down and speak to any universities, institutions, I feel so good because I feel that sharing of knowledge is the best thing what you can do. So the topic for today's webinar is poison on the plate. Now, when I say poison on the plate, my question to all of you: what it can be? What do you guess is going to be the evening for you? So when I say poison on the plate,
Sir, it means sir, unhealthy food.
I think you are very right, very right. So let me not confuse and let me not keep you in doubts. Let us go to the next page and understand what I want to say about it. You are absolutely right. So now my question to all the participants out here is: what are your eating habits? The first point that we come, it includes me as well, right? It doesn't include all of you out here, it includes me as well. What are our eating habits? Rather, would be the right question. Are we eating sufficient? Is the next one. That means,
Yes.
is it adequate? Is it enough that we need? Is it the right time we are maintaining? Is it the quantity of food that we are eating is sufficient for our body? Are they full of what our body wants? Are we eating enough amount of fat, carbohydrates, minerals, vitamins? Are we doing that? Proteins? Are we doing that? These are questions that we should ask ourselves on a regular basis. Now, if I come to the adults out, are their children on proper diet? And are we feeling weak? Are we feeling obese? Are we feeling odd or aged? Now, if I say what is obese, can somebody tell me what is obese? Obese is something which relates to fattiness. That's a very big concern. There's something on the chat box. Let me see. Let me just check out. Overweight. Okay. Okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
Correct. So obese is something when we look when we stand in front of the mirror and suddenly one fine morning we see that we look fat, we look odd, we don't look decent, we don't look smart. Whatever we are wearing, whatever clothes we are on, we feel somewhere the fitting is not correct. Is it the clothes that are getting shorter? Or is it me who is getting fatter? That's the real question. And it all depends on the eating habits. Now, when we get into the next slide, it will become very clear. So, this is a chart which shows the different nutrients that we need on a regular basis. And it differentiates between a plant based food and animal based food. Now, if you see, a lot of people are now shifting to vegetarian foods. Though we like non-vegetarian foods, there might be a couple of people out here who are very favorable to the non-veg foods, even me as well. But a lot of people are getting shifted to vegetarian foods. So there are two types of foods that we have. One is a plant-based food, one is an animal-based food. If you see the cholesterol quantity in a plant-based food, it's almost nil. It's almost zero. That's why most probably people are getting shifted more into the vegetarian foods. And if you see the animal-based food, whatever animals we are eating across the country, we use different animals as our food. 137 per 500 calories of energy they can give you. This is the cholesterol amount that is getting in milligrams, that is getting as an ingredient to us. If you see the fat in grams, in a plant-based food you get only 4 grams, while in animal-based food it's about 16 grams, sorry, 36 grams. Now I want to ask you a question, someone from the group or the participants. What if you consume a higher amount of fat? Any idea?
I believe if you consume a higher amount of fat,
You get fat, do you not?
You get fat. That's true. And what happens when you get fat?
The answer is you get
You just
fat.
get diabetes and then you die.
Yeah, that's true. You're going to die very fast. Lot of diseases are going to engulf
Type 1
you.
That's kind
diabetes, I
of
believe.
disrespectful considering I have diabetes and I'm not dead. So,
Yeah,
Mm.
but you will be.
Some of
Just
the
go
other
lose some weight,
whoa,
man.
whoa.
some of the other time, much earlier to the age you can actually live up to, your lifespan would decrease. That's what is showing in this chart. If you see the protein amount, it is 33 and 34, which is a very less difference between each of them. The protein intake is a difference of 1 gram only in a plant-based and an animal-based food. Now see the beta carotene level in micrograms. Basically, beta carotene is vitamin A, which we are speaking about, 29,919 in a plant-based food. Now, how does beta carotene help us is very important. Beta carotene is vitamin A, which protects your eyes. It protects your eyes, your vision for a longer time. So if you see, if you are taking a plant-based food, your eyes, your vision is going to last for a longer time. While in an animal-based food, it gives only 17 micrograms. It is not even in milligrams, not even in grams. It is 17 micrograms, which is negligible. Come to the dietary fiber. Almost zero in animal. Okay, now you see the vitamin C portion. You see 293 milligrams you can get from a plant-based food. You see in animals it's only 4 grams. The folate portion is also 1168 in a plant-based food. Similarly, if you go to vitamin E, iron, magnesium, calcium, all these essential minerals which you can see out here, the intake in a plant-based food, that's why probably a lot of people are getting shifted from animal food to plant foods, non-vegetarian to vegetarian. The only reason behind these people are wanting to get more healthier. They want to start and end up with a very healthy life. They want to live longer. They want to live the life happily without a disease, without getting into more engulfment of diseases. There is a lot of stress. In today's date, you ask anybody in this world, everybody is under stress, under anxiety. And if more of diseases come into your account or in your family, it becomes more ridiculous to live. So which way are you going to do? Are we going to maintain our health? Or are we going to do our
Yes.
jobs? Are we going to do our education? Are we going to complete our career? What are we going to do if you are not healthy?
I need
Imagine,
burgers.
yeah, please.
You're not loving old cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. Yeah, of course,
And
it's a very,
McDonald's would be fairly
yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah. There are so many options. You have burgers, you have
Hamburger.
pizzas, you have so many
yes, it's
options.
very tasty.
My favorite is a steak, to be honest. I'm trying my best to get off it, but I'm struggling. That's my biggest problem.
That's that
That's because you're a fat
I
cunt.
think everyone is trying to get out of this, but
I'm sorry, who said that?
yeah, I understand. Everyone is trying to get out of these things, but let us see what happens. In the next slide, I'm going to show you what happens if you're taking more of it to metabolic syndrome. This is something which is very important. Now, let us speak about what a metabolic syndrome is. It is a term which is known by the abdominal obesity. When we speak of abdominal obesity, it is not gender specific. It means the boys and girls, men and women both. Now, what should be the ideal, the thing in a metabolic syndrome? If you see on the right side of the screen, there is a waist in chest ratio which is given. Now, in case of men, the waist circumference should be at least 4 inches lesser than the chest. And in case of women, it should be at least 8 inches lesser than the chest size. That's the ideal thing. A waist size which is larger than the chest size will indicate there is a high body fat. That means the fat has already been consumed by your body due to some non-exercising, due to some not leading a very lazy life, or maybe you're not walking, or maybe you're taking too much of outside food or street foods or junk foods. That can be a cause, or it can be due to less of energy that we are having inside the body. Now, if this chest to waist ratio is not maintained, what is happening? The metabolic syndrome increases. What happens when the metabolic syndrome increases? It is very, very harmful because it will lead to lot of diseases. The number one disease which comes from metabolic syndrome is
AIDS.
diabetes. Sorry, diabetes or high blood sugar is the first one which comes through the metabolic syndrome. If in today's world, if you see, almost every alternate house is having one person inside the home, one member in the home is suffering from diabetes. It has become a very common disease. It can lead to heart attack, it can lead to stroke, it can lead to damage of your nerves, it can even kill you. So there is no control. We don't know. We are eating, whatever we are liking, we are eating in adequate quantities, over quantities. We don't have a time to eat. So that is leading to metabolic syndrome. This is a term which is known by the abdominal obesity, and it is linked to an increased risk of diabetes and heart. If you want to save yourself, the young generation or the older generation, whoever it is, it doesn't talk about a man or woman, or there's no gender.
I'm not obese.
And if you're going to the metabolic syndrome disease, there is a chance that you will have an increased risk of diabetes and heart attack in future. Now, how to determine that? See, there is something called BMI. BMI is body mass index. Now, whatever our body is made up of is God gifted. And now we have a responsibility to take care of that, to build up. Some people like doing exercises, gyms, they do workouts, they do meditation, they take a lot of care to the body. There are some people who don't want to or don't have a time to get into all those, so their body gets neglected. Those people who are taking too much of junk foods, outside foods, street foods in an adequate quantity and has no limit to that and has a no routine to that are likely to become obese. That means extra fat is going to get deposited. And once upon a time in the early morning, when you wake up and see yourself in the mirror, suddenly you see that you have become swelled up. In the central obesity, there is excess of fat deposition around the stomach. The stomach portion is the first portion, if you see, which gets swelled up. When you see yourself in the mirror, most of the boys or the girls, they see there's a big stomach in front of their body, which is very odd. So if you see, when you're wearing a jeans or a top or jeans or a t-shirt, you look very odd because of that stomach. And everyone wants to reduce that. Now, overnight, people are trying a lot of things to do. They're running, they're doing joggings, even people are going for liposuctions, they're dieting, they're doing everything that is possible, but it is not reducing. The reason behind is that the fat is, हम लोग हिंदी में इसको क्या बोलते हैं? We call it जिद्दी. Fat सबसे जिद्दी portion होता है हमारे body में. This fat doesn't go very easily. Just say if you have seen a small child going with the mother, suddenly ask for a packet of chips, and the mother says, no, 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 not chips, anything else, anything else. But that boy, the child lies down on the ground, cries, and shouts, does a lot of things, and ultimately the mother gets felt. And due to the prestige issue and all the public looking at her, वो क्या करती है? She buys a packet of chips to make the child stop. तो वो बच्चा क्या होता है? जिद्दी होता है. The baby is stubborn. The fat is also a stubborn portion. It will not go easily, my friends. We have to control before it gets deposited. Once it gets deposited, it's a very hard task to remove it from the body. And once a fat gets deposited, these things are going to happen. Diabetes for sure, heart attack for sure. So please take care of yourself. Life is very precious. We are born as humans. We are lucky. God has gifted us a body. We are lucky, and we have to keep ourselves in a safe place. Now what happens is the fat which I'm speaking that this fat, that gets deposited in the stomach. And when the fat gets deposited in the stomach, there is something called pancreas, which is located just beside the stomach. And the pancreas is responsible for releasing the insulin. And what does the insulin do? It controls the blood sugar levels in our body. Now when the stomach gets deposited with excess of fat, the stomach becomes heavier, and it pushes the pancreas. In a technical term, if you see, in a scientific term, it doesn't allow the pancreas to function properly. And the pancreas is unable to secrete the insulin that is required to control the blood sugar in the body. And ultimately, the patient or the person turns diabetic. Now, once a patient becomes diabetic, I don't know how many people you have listened, how many people you have heard that they have become okay from diabetes. Maybe, out of 100 people, maybe around 10 people have come back to the normal positions. Others are still diabetic. Some on insulin, some on medicines. Some have already, damaged their organs. Some have died. So many people are suffering. So let us not get into this trouble, my friends. It is very, very risky for us to do that. So this pancreas, when will start dysfunctioning, will not be able to do its job. It will get disturbed, and it will not produce sufficient amount of insulin needed by the body to maintain the blood glucose level. And what will happen? The blood glucose level will rise. That means high blood sugar will start happening, and it will lead to diabetes for a long run. Now, these high blood sugar levels or the glucose levels, if you do not control at the right time, every organ of your body is going to get damaged for sure. Not very early, but it is going to happen one by one, or maybe all at a time. Your eyes, your kidney, your heart, your brain, and even your nerves can get damaged. And they will damage in such a way that those will be one-way routes. A one-way route, you cannot come back from that. Now, what happens is, once you're diabetic, there is already a tension on your head. You have to go to medicines, you have to go regular checkups, you have to take a lot of diagnostic tests. Forget about foods. Forget about those foods you have been enjoying for so long. Now you are in trouble. And I think most of you have know a lot of people in your home also, might be there is 1 or 2 persons who is suffering from this. So now you have to reduce the belly fat, and it is the most important thing to remain healthy and prevent the occurrence of chronic diseases. These are chronic diseases. When we say chronic diseases, which means these diseases are going to last for long. They cannot be, it's not fever that you take a Calpol or you take something and become, you have a sneezing, you take some antibiotic, you have a cough. You cannot, actually get out of this so easily. Now I'll just go through the different the intakes that we take. Now, if you see, protein is a major part of our all the body structures, and they help in growth, development, repair, and damaged tissues and maintenance. This is the role of protein. And nutrients are the components in the foods. Whatever we eat the nutrients, and there are two types: micro and macro. When we say macronutrients, we mean the nutrients that we need in a higher amount. When you need nutrients in a higher amount, that we call as macronutrients, and examples are carbohydrates, protein, and fat. These are macronutrients. So these are needed to, we have to grow our body, we have to get energy to work, we should be able to sleep properly. So all this comes from the macronutrients, which can be you can get from carbohydrate, proteins, and fats. And there are micronutrients also, which are also required. These micronutrients, as the word says, we require in a very less quantity, but this is regularly required. And those will include vitamins and minerals. So that means the protein, the vitamins, the minerals, the fiber, the carbohydrates, every proportion in every food that we eat on a regular basis, we need all five of them. You need vitamins, you need proteins, you need minerals. You cannot say that today I will take minerals and tomorrow I will not take minerals. Your body is needing that. It's not about what you are needing. It's about what your body and your organs are needing. Different organs need protein, different organs need vitamins, different organs need minerals, different organs need carbohydrates to function. And when you have 5 children in the room, it's not necessary you have 5, say you have 3 siblings in the room. So it's not necessary that all the three siblings will have the same taste. Somebody will like chicken, somebody would like vegetarian, somebody would like ice creams. So they will have different, a la cartes with them. So if you see the vitamins, the functions of the body it also has important functions of the body, like utilization of the macronutrients and proactive functions. The protective functions, vitamins will protect you from every diseases that will come and attack. For example, coronavirus, everyone knows the dreadful action of that virus. So people who had a lot of immune system strong in their body, corona could not do anything to them. COVID was not affected to that particular person. But somebody who had a lower immune system, COVID had attracted and affected that person. Minerals are required to regulate your body metabolism and protect you against any type of illness. Fiber plays an important role in improving constipation, blood glucose levels, and cholesterol levels, and keep your digestive system healthy. Even Gautam Buddha also says, health is the greatest gift and contentment the greatest wealth. You have lakhs and crores of money and you are lying on the bed. You are not healthy. What will you do with crores of money? It's of no use. So take care of your health. It's very important. These are some diet plans of men and women. If you have a mobile which is with you ready, you can just take a photograph of this, or I will share this to your admin. It's better I'll share. These are some diet plans which can be followed for men and women differently in 21 to 60 years of age group. If I start reading this, it will take a lot of time. I will share this slide and you can follow. If it's possible for you, it's a very simple diet plan. You can follow. This is for the men and women in the age group of 21 to 60. And this is for the children. If you have small, siblings at your home, for 7 to 12 years of men and teenagers in the age of 13 to 20 also, I have a diet plan with me. So I'll share this. And if you want to follow, you can follow this for your good health. So that ends my presentation. I think we can take up the question answers. There are a lot which in the chat box. Thank you very much for attending and listening so carefully.
What a wonderful knowledge given by you, sir. I hope our audience learned many new things from this session. Once again, I would like to thank you for joining us and sharing your experience, your previous time and knowledge with us.
Thank you.
Now I am over to Sahil. Please ask a question and answer round.
Thank you, Saloni. Sir, there are a few questions which our audience want to be answered.
Please,
So,
please.
with your permission, shall we?
Absolute.
Sir, when my weight is like 100 kg,
Mm.
and my BMI, according to my BMI, my weight should be 75 or 70.
Mm.
And I just try to lose my weight. That the fat I lose, that give me the energy or or the weakness, sir.
The fat which you lose will be in a very slow rate, so you will not feel any difference of energy. The fat would not go in one day. It will it will go from your body in a very slow motion, so you'll never feel that you are becoming non-energetic or lazy or something like that. Even if you're at 100 kilos and if you want to have a target of 74 or 75 kilos, if you want to target that, a lot of people are on dieting. A lot of people start dieting thinking that they will lose their weight. It's not about losing weight, it's about losing fat. So losing of weight is only in case of people who are overweight according to their height. Even at 100 kilo is also correct if you have a correct height. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. And another question from the Veshu Chaudhary.
Yes.
The question is, I weight 150 kg. What is good food to eat?
That's a very nice question. There is nothing called good food to eat. I'm going to share this diet chart with you. And I guess if you follow this diet chart for at least for 6 months, it's going to improve your health. See, I'm going to share the diet chart. That is one thing. You can follow that for at least 6 months. Second thing is try and eat, enough vegetables. See, fruits we might be taking on a regular basis. Try to take one fruit regularly. Any fruit that you like. That is very important. Anyone, somewhere the time should be somewhere between 11 to 12:30. That's the right time to take the food. After you always take a heavy breakfast. So all of you who are out in this webinar, I would request all of you that the first thing which you have to do is wake up early. Those who are doing that is fine. So wake up early so that you have a lot of time to do, if you activities if you want. See, if you don't have a place to do yoga, or if you don't have a place to run and jog, you can at least do some meditation for 10-15 minutes. Take your breakfast in a larger quantity. Always take breakfast in a larger quantity. And between 11 and 12:30, take a fruit, any fruit that you feel like, whatever your pocket suits. There's no fascination on that. Every fruit will give you some of the other help. Try to take your lunch in a proper time. If you are not busy somewhere, or if you're not stuck up somewhere, try to take your lunch by minimum by 2:30 to 3 p.m., not after that. Taking a lunch after 3 p.m. is not healthy for anybody. In the evening, if you have a habit of taking some snacks or light tiffin, please go ahead for it. And at that time also, that is the time when we are actually inclined to take the junk foods, evening time. So thoda sa dahi bada kha liya, fuchka kha liya, and all those things happen. So that is okay till you limit yourself in a quantity, that is fine. And in the dinner time, I would request everyone to take a light food in the dinner. Don't take a heavy dinner unless and until you have an invitation or an event where you have to attend, where you have a gala dinner or a buffet type, jahan par there are a lot of options to have. Then you can enjoy the dinner. Otherwise, normally in your home, please take in a very minimum quantity of dinner. Don't overpack yourself. So that's ideally you should follow for a healthy life.
Okay, sir.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That was a very good piece of advice. Thank you, sir, for answering these questions.